Hello, welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, and I'll be taking us through a shamanic soul realignment process for the next 30 minutes. So find a nice, comfortable place where you can lay down, relax, and receive this session. Pure Soul Alchemy is a transmission of channeled shamanic healing technologies which restructure your creator source grid. Transformative operations and procedures are enacted for you while you comfortably relax. Through my perception and vocalization of the inner energetic grid, we are open in ways which allow these technologies to come into our physical reality and enact change on our behalf. There will be quite a few moments of silence as I am delivering these processes. Simply rest into the silence during these times and receive the healing energies. Don't focus too much on what I'm saying. Just relax and let the transmission come through and work on you. It's quite helpful to go back and listen again repeatedly to deepen the effects of the session and take the healing deeper. Today's show is a shamanic healing session on competition. When you feel insecure about your standing in life, it's very easy to default to comparison and competition perception and emotional outlook. Competition programming entices us to look outside of ourselves and attempt to erroneously gauge our progress, our validation, on the standing of someone else's life. It's like trying to check someone else's test results to see how you are doing. Impossible. Often you don't even realize this is occurring. This causes stress, low self-esteem, fear of failure, feeling stuck, superiority, inferiority, inadequacy. And the worst part is that you've lost contact with the intrinsic joy of actively participating in the very things you really care about. In this session, we will deconstruct some of the competition, comparison, programming that inhibits the full enjoyment of your own personal evolution and your most cherished endeavors. We will also strengthen your internal self-monitoring capacity and self-validation connection. So allow yourself, during our session, allow yourself to notice any feelings or sensations that arise. Allow your mind to watch, witness, notice where you are having intense internal responses, and give your higher self and spirit full permission to transform your inner planes of consciousness to what is real, true, beautiful, and best for your well-being. So we have a lot of healing points for this particular session, which I received in advance. And I'm just going to quickly read a couple of them. One healing point, healing disconnection from our own internal system checking mechanisms. Healing for traumas in inner child development. Remediating the internal rejection of our authentic progression and soul evolution. And healing a sense of inadequacy, inferiority, unworthiness, fear of failure, and more. So now settle into your stillness. Fall into your natural breathing rhythm. No forcing, just breathing. Bring into your awareness. Bring into your heart. And bring into your pelvic bowl your joy to connect with your inherent inspirational flow. Bring in your joy to reside in what is true for you at all times. And bring in the immense happiness and fulfillment that come from dancing with your inner creator. And extending that beautiful feeling of connection to the universal creator. Realize now that you are falling deeper and deeper into eternal trust in this beautiful interplay that weaves beauty in your existence and the existence of all that is. Rest now in the knowing that you are held by Spirit at all times, and that your orientation to life is undergoing a vastly improved change. Let that take hold in your sight, in your heart, and in your life as we go through our session. So we're connecting with our divine physical and non-physical intelligence to align completely with our own core essence. Aligning with the fundamental and essential aspects of ourselves. Aligning with the earth, the sun, the moon, with our own Mother, Father, God, self, with our own inherent Creator self, and our right placement in the universe. The purest healing source within us is our own deepest aspect. We agree to serve as our own healing agent and to serve from and as our own ultimate inner counsel, the all that I am. We now invoke, welcome, and receive our beloved Mother and Father God to exact their loving, divine, blessed grace directly into our healing proceedings today. Right, so we're going to begin with healing point number 3. Remediating the internal rejection of our authentic progression and soul evolution and personal progression processes, format, structure. Healing rejection, revulsion, and disgust of our true path, our flow, our rhythm, our needs. And at the same time, moving closer and closer towards 100% acceptance, alignment, and cohesiveness with our true path, flow, rhythm, needs, purpose, fulfillment. Still massively doing a healing of the rejection. Removing justification, rationalization, faulty logic for answering another's calling at our own expense. I should say, attempting to answer another's calling at our own expense. It's impossible to do someone else's calling. We can only do our own. Right, so underneath that, this is particularly in the solar plexus for all of us, and then there are some other locations for others of us where extreme pain that comes from sublimated erroneous beliefs that we are wrong, who we are is wrong, incorrect, and expendable. So removing these erroneous beliefs as well as the faulty logic for attempting to answer another's calling or life purpose or soul purpose. Opening, enhancing our ability to recognize that this is a detrimental, no-win pursuit. Remediating being out of our natural rhythms. Restoring our natural rhythms, restoring sense of timing and pacing, regenerating our authentic, true standards and ideals, And something about doing a healing on losing our footing that results. From being out of sync with ourselves, our purpose, what it is that we're about and what we're here for. Healing limitation of our authentic expansion process. Healing sublimation of our authentic expansion process. Great. All right, healing point number 5, healing competition, comparison, paradigms of operation. So I'm doing a massive healing. This is the diaphragm. Yeah, the diaphragm area. Healing rejection of the self. And healing projected identity from external sources. So ways in which we have projected other people's persona onto ourselves, and all it does is veil who we truly are, limit our natural progression, and limit our ability to connect with ourselves deeply and know our next step, know what we're about, etc. Right, so healing rejection of self, healing incorporated ideals, overriding the true ideals within, healing the enticement and addiction to looking outside of ourselves, and healing any attempting to erroneously gauge our progress, our validation on the standards of someone else's life. Reconnecting to our true ideals within, our true persona, and our true essence within. Redefining our personal space and clarifying our limitations as well as our talents, gifts, positive attributes. Great. Healing point number 4. Healing a sense of inadequacy, inferiority, unworthiness, fear of failure, belief that who we are is wrong, incorrect. Healing inadequacy, inferiority, unworthiness, feeling like a loser, a failure. Recharging our positive mental outlook and emotional connectivity, heart connectivity with our awesomeness. Yes, that's a technical word. But awe-inspiring, the awe-inspiring outlook, personal outlook, when we look at ourselves, seeing ourselves as the miracle that we truly are. So yes, awesomeness. healing any coping or compensation techniques that are based in these feelings of inadequacy, inferiority. All right, clearing the fallacy of superiority, supremacy, entitlement, desensitization to our own and others' plights, inequality, posturing above graciousness, rekindling higher thriving, reinstating higher attributes of compassion, empathy, kindness, consideration. We're doing some work to open the heart. So it is impossible for us to view other people and ourselves as less than, undeserving, or unworthy when our heart is way open. That word, namaste, I see the God in you, the God in me sees the God in you, comes to life when our heart is way open. And that's what we're working on doing right now. All right, let's go ahead and do some work on healing point number 6, releasing obsession with the outcome or product. Releasing obsession with the outcome or product. Reinstating, instead, being present with inner self throughout our life process. Throughout life, intense and important life passages. Reclaiming presence with the inner self. Being present with ourself. Being in correct timing, in right relationship with ourself. When we become obsessed with the outcome or product, at the expense of ourselves, it's just an indicator that we are disconnected inside. So reinstating connectedness within the self. Reinstating being in full enjoyment of ourselves in each moment. Reinstating constant guided awareness and belonging in the self. Healing point number 2, healing for the inner child in crucial developmental stages. So clearing a lack of parental authentication of our soul, our progress, our development, our being. Reinstating validation, authorization, authentication, and emotional and identity containment. These are pieces, crucial pieces in our development as a child. So we're healing lack of parental authentication, validation, and emotional and identity containment during crucial points in our inner child development, and reinstating for the inner child parental And these are earth plane parents, souls, their souls, and our mother, father, God parents as well. So authentication from all these sets of parents, validation, valuation, emotional and identity containment. So we're doing this for the inner child, but also for the child who we were back in time. And bringing the restructuring and healing forward in time to this present moment and into the future, our future moments. Healing a lack of peer authentication. Again, this is for the inner child, as well as the child who we once were back in time. Releasing the trauma of unparented process of individuation during childhood rites of passage. And once again, reinstating the parenting from our biological parents, their souls, and from our mother, father, God parents into the process of individuation during our childhood rites of passage. There are several of these rites of passage that we've each gone through, and we're applying this reinstatement of parenting at those particular points in time and space, and bringing the healing forward to this moment and our future moments. Development of responsible outlets for personal protocols. Again, doing this healing back in time and for our inner child, here and now, and for the future. Healing injuries to the subtle system, homeostasis on all levels. Bringing our subtle system back to homeostasis on all levels. For our inner child, for the child who we once were back in time. We're just spending time and attention on this particular process. Right, so let's go ahead, healing injuries to the heart, the subtle heart, as well as the entire subtle system. Introducing, reinstating system-wide homeostasis on all levels. Great. Healing disconnection from our own internal system checking mechanisms. So we're doing a healing, a preliminary healing with the intentionality of reconnecting with our own internal system checking mechanisms. It's how we monitor ourselves, our needs, our progress. So healing disconnection and initiating reconnection. Remediating some of the results from having been disconnected from our internal checking mechanism. Uncertainty, lack of clarity, lack of follow-through, lack of motivation, lack of separation. I should say unhealthy lack of separation. And any others that I haven't named. Great. So reconnecting to our internal monitoring mechanisms, initiating a system upgrade to our own internal system checking mechanisms. Connecting with truth, understanding, and welcoming new growth impulses from within. And enhancing system operation so that these new growth impulses are met and enacted. Enhancing recognition of these and opening follow-through, implementation, protocols. So we're now bringing our session to a close in love, light, gratitude, and blessings. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. It is highly recommended that you listen to this session repeatedly. This will deepen the effects of the session and take your healing further with each replay. To schedule an individual session and for more info, visit www.puresoulalchemy.com. This is Gabriella Espinosa. Have a wonderful day.